dude.
Dude, I found the cheat code for investing.
What are you talking about, man?
All you have to do is put this mask on and it shows you what to invest in.
All right. I gotta know. How does a $30 mask from Amazon show you what to invest in?
It uses Neuralink technology. All you have to do is think of any investment and then it will show you the future of that investment.
I think you've been watching way too much Joe Rogan, bro.
No. Put it on and think of any investment you have. You'll see.
All right, give me that stupid thing.
Now that we have another billion, what are we going to do with it?
I don't know. I can't believe I ever doubted investing in houses made out of popsicle sticks in the metaverse would work.
I know. I've been brushing my teeth with gold toothpaste every morning since. We've got the answers.
Oh, gosh. Feels good to be king.
Popsicle sticks in the metaverse. It's the thing.
I can't believe it, dude. It's amazing.
You weren't thinking big enough. Put it back on. Try again. Think real big.
Think big. All right. Here goes nothing.
Hello, Clint.
What the?
This is Clintron. You invested in an automated Neuralink technology to make great, long-lasting, cash-flowing investments using 0% human energy.
Do I ever move?
Nope, you do nothing and make money all day.
That's actually pretty awesome. Dude, this thing is off.
Hello, Clint.
It was only a dream. Man, my head hurts. Hello, Clint.
Dude, I told you to think about investments, not me.
Do I look hot?
No. No.
Hey everybody, before we start the show, we actually have an outline that goes with the episode that you can follow along with as you listen. You can find that on our website on the podcast tab down on the blog section. And while you're there, also check out the education tab that has some resources to help you save some money and learn a little bit about investing. Also, while you're there, check out the merchandise tab and check out this sweet new merchandise we got so you can rep the Homeboys everywhere you go. Enjoy this episode. Happy investing.
Hey everybody, you're kicking it with the Homeboys and the Homeboys podcast. My name is Clint Wetherill and we got a very exciting episode today. We are talking the cheat code to your first rental property. As always, I'm here with my buddy and partner in crime, Mr. Scott Adams. Mr. Adams, riddle me this. What is the cheat code to your first rental property?
What you do is you find some ants that are looking to rent a place and you buy a little house and you rent it to them. It's the cheapest way in.
I think that's wise.
Actually, we're redoing the little bit of the background here, refresh things. So Bryce, our producer, built us a little house that we'll be putting up on the shelves. He said it was like 100 and something pieces.
I saw the box that came in. It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I realized quickly that I was not the man for the job.
No,
I think
neither of
Bryce
us
did fabulous. It's quite delightful.
But in all seriousness, the cheat
You
code.
look great in front of that that
palms.
greenery as well.
I feel tropical with it behind me.
You should.
Yeah, I feel good. Feel good with it back there.
You should. You know, it's what was it? What's the Zach Galifianakis?
Yeah.
The conversation between two ferns.
Yeah, between two ferns. Oh my gosh. Between two ferns now.
Couple of douchebags between two ferns.
Yeah. I'm Zach Galifianakis and you're Brad Pitt then.
I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, the cheat code.
So yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, the cheat code, it's really simple to having your first rental. It's when you are moving up in life and you're buying your next house, or you have to move towns and you own a home, just don't sell it. Do not sell it. Hire a property manager and have them turn it into a rental for you.
I think it's important to first touch on why we wanted this to be a topic, because this is something that Scotty and I failed at miserably. Me more so than him, because I am in my 13th home since 2001. I always thought that if I could sell my property and make a few bucks, especially through my 20s and 30s, my house was always on the market. I was never tied to any one place. I'm in my forever home now, so like I'm not moving anytime soon. But looking back on my career, I wish I had kept most, if not all, of those previous 12 homes.
Yeah.
And we've joked about it. Like, we've went back through, because I've known you long enough. You know most of the places that I've lived.
Right.
And especially with the run-up in real estate that we've seen over the last 14 years, like how much equity I left on the table by getting out when I did. It's bananas.
So he made a lot of profit on each of these houses. However, he left so much on the table, and people don't understand that part very well. So we're going to link an episode that we did where we compared, where we showed all of the ways that you make money through a rental property and how much more you make versus flipping a property by holding it long term. Mm-hmm. So we'll link to an episode so people can kind of understand that part a little better, because he made a lot of money when he sold all these houses and he regrets it. Think about that.
So one of my last homes, I bought in like 2006 for 40 grand. I put like 150 grand into it. I sold it, I don't know, 2015. I did keep it as a rental property for a while.
You did.
But I sold it for $450,000. Killer profit. It sold earlier this year for $1 million.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a couple homes ago. But
so you missed out on all that appreciation. You missed out on all those rents you would have been making over all of that time. You missed out on having your mortgage paid down by the tenant. There's just so many ways you make money on a house. So when you're living in your home, this is hopefully mostly for the first-time home buyers who had their first house and are moving or upgrading. Just don't sell that first house. They make great rentals. It's the easiest way you'll ever find to own a rental property. You already own it. Mm-hmm. And as long as you have a tenant, most mortgages, as long as your debt to the ratio of your rents to the monthly debt on it is 75%, I believe. I'm not a mortgage specialist, so check with each of those. But it's not going to hurt you, And a lot of people say, well, I was going to use the money I made from the sale to use as down payment for the house I buy. It's hard. You can find ways a lot of the time to scrape and pinch to make it work. It's the easiest way.
Or if you just have a plan in place, like whenever you buy that home
beginning
that you turn into a rental property, put the plan in place then for your next home.
Great idea.
It's about planning, and just it's interesting because when we talk about this just a couple weeks ago, I'm on worship team at my church. I play drums and was talking with one of the singers. And she said, yeah, well, I'm as soon as I leave here, I got to go home. Me and my husband are moving. And, she went on to then talk about, I asked her if did she sell her current place really quickly? She's like, I'm actually keeping it. We're renting it out. We've got like 3 other rental properties, and we're just going to keep it as a rental. I was like, man, that is so awesome. That's something that I wish that I had done.
I know.
Along the way. And, her and her husband, that was part of their plan. All along. Their previous 2 houses, I believe, are completely paid off.
Right.
They've got an amazing, financial plan with and I'm not talking down about anyone's profession, but they're not in super high wealth paying careers, but yet their financial picture is top 5% for their age group.
Yeah.
Which is our age group is us because of doing what we're preaching in this
Right.
episode. You would have went back 10 years ago and come up with podcast topics, which probably wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. I never would have had this as part of it. But we've learned some lessons through this that we wish we had done. And, we're trying to bring that literacy to our listeners. It's a really powerful tool. You just keep the house that that you've lived in as a long-term rental. It could be amazing.
It's literally a cheat code to building wealth. You don't have to be a high-income earner to do this. It makes it so easy. You already have that property. Turn it into a rental. Let the tenant pay it off for you. Build your wealth through these means. And every time you move, do this. The storage of wealth in America for the average person, I was talking to our producer before the show. I was looking at all these stats on where the average American's money is. And it was like 90-something% of Americans that are median income, this is going to get real weird, median income, their storage of wealth is all real estate. So basically the average American's savings is their house. Mm-hmm. So why not double that? Instead of having one house, when you move to your next house, keep that first one. It's very doable.
It's kind of a set it and forget it type, model. It's there. It's you've got so many benefits from it. But we've only talked about the upside, and in most cases this will work. What are some of the caveats? Like when would this not work? Because this isn't going to work all the time.
It isn't. So there's a ceiling, and every market's going to be a little different. And by ceiling, I mean, if you have $1 million home in our market, this will not work. So because the rents won't be as high as even your mortgage. So a very simple rule is, the rents have to be as much as your mortgage, minimum. And even then we don't suggest it. So there has to be a spread between what your mortgage payment is on that property and what the rents will be coming in. And you can call any property manager in town to find out an estimated rents that they could get you. So you can have that knowledge. So you need a little spread between what your mortgage is and what the tenant's rent will be, because you're going to have a lot of hidden expenses when you own rentals. So you have to go into this knowing you're going to have deferred maintenance that's more than you had when you were living there, probably, because tenants are a little harder on homes. You're going to have all the usual taxes and insurance. You're going to lose your homestead in a lot of places, which is an exemption, so your taxes may go up on that property. There's going to be a lot of expenses that you'll need to set aside, and the reasons you'll need to have that spread.
Yeah, you're talking about the level of diminishing returns with when discussing rental price versus the appraised value or
Right.
or purchase price, if you will.
Right.
So for our market, just to explain it to where it's easy to understand, let's just say, and it used to be close to this, it's not much anymore, but say you have a $100,000 house that rents out for $1,000, and then you have a $150,000 house that rents out for $15,000, and a $200,000 that rents for $200,000. At some point in
Rents
time,
for $2,000.
Excuse me, rents $2,000. At some point in time, that level is going to start getting away. So, like, say for example, if you have a $400,000 house, that doesn't mean that you're getting $4,000 a month in rent. That level of diminishing return starts to creep in, and at some point that may not make sense to keep that as a rental unless you want to be in a negative cash flow situation, and that is not something that Scotty and I recommend, is getting into a negative cash flow situation.
Yeah, so it just has to be a positive cash flow, and it can be very minimal, because keep in mind your mortgage payment isn't going up as long as you're not on a variable rate, which you're most likely not. Your mortgage payment isn't going to go up over time, but the rents are going to go up, and the money that is coming in on rents is being used to pay down your mortgage. So there's all these avenues that will make it worth it, even if you don't make much at the beginning. Over time, that place is going to get paid off. You'll capture appreciation. Your mortgage is paid down by the tenant. There's a lot of ways that you capture wealth through this, even without large spread.
But what if I just have to have that money? That's going to keep coming up. That's going to keep coming up. And, I said it earlier, you have a plan, have a plan in place, from when you buy every home. What's the next home look like? But I think it's important. We always touch on, investing, for the long term,
right?
And having some skin, in the game, trying to keep equity in a property. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, "Why would you leave equity in a property? Pull that sucker out and go invest in more properties, and go big or don't go at all."
Yeah. There's two questions there you asked. The first one is, how do I get the money for the next house if I really needed that equity? We didn't say this was the easiest thing in the world. We just said it's the easiest way to get a rental property. It's going to take work. It may be difficult to do. You may have to do an FHA loan on your next house and do a higher LTV, which you got to be careful with. But I'm just saying there's ways to do that you could do this to make it happen. And if it requires some sacrifice, penny pinching, tightening the belt, not buying as much house for your next house, not upgrading as much as you wanted to for your next house, that allows this, it's the path to wealth. And then the second thing is, don't be tapping all of your houses out for equity and tapping the equity out of your houses. Don't be getting HELOCs on every house you get in order to leverage this. Markets go up and down. Over time, yes, there is appreciation. However, markets are cyclical. There's times when markets are down, times when they're up. If you get into a situation where, say you have a daughter getting married and you have to pay for a wedding, and you've got to sell one of those properties to cover those an expense like that. If the market's down, you're screwed if you tapped it. You can be upside down. You can owe more than it's worth. It's just a dangerous way.
What if you're upside down on 20 of them?
Oh, yeah. Then you're in deep stuff.
It's really popular in today's society for people to think equity. Why would you keep any equity in a place?
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous way to think. Like you always say, it's a mindset. If you are conservative in your investments and you look at it through the long haul, then the aggressive approach does nothing but add unnecessary risk. There's no reason to do it. You can still find the success without being that risky. So why do it?
It amazes me, and I know it amazes you whenever we're watching, social media clips and, the whole refi till you die situation and more. Yeah. People don't understand that when things go bad, and it's going to happen at some point in time in your career, that it is a snowball effect where it's not just the home prices go backwards. It is the tenants aren't paying their rent on a normal basis as they normally do. So your eviction rate or turnover is considerably higher. It's harder to get money to go into a bank and get and have access to money. It's a number of things, and if you are leveraged, to the hilt on everything, and then these other situations come in, it could be a recipe for disaster. And I don't think people understand that. It's just about more.
Listen to us. We saw this happen to really smart, hardworking, accomplished investors in the last recession. We saw really smart people fail because they were over-leveraged. People that you would look at and think that they're multi-millionaires. And they were, but they over-leveraged themselves. There's example after example. So why add that risk? You don't need to. So it goes back to this. When you're living in your home, when it's time to buy the next home, just run the numbers on this situation. Talk to your mortgage broker about, hey, can I keep this other property as a rental? Do I have to have it rented before I can close on the next one? Just start asking those questions. And once you understand that this is feasible, which it's going to be, it might take some work to figure out how you'll do it, but it is feasible. And you do it once, you will become addicted to owning rental properties because it's unbelievable the benefits that come with it. Again, tenant paying down your mortgage, so you got money that way. You got cash flow from it if there's a spread between your mortgage and what the rents are. Appreciation. You've got all these different avenues that just help you build wealth. And again, the average American's money is in their home. So why not just multiply that? It's like that Millionaire Next Door book. Normal people making normal incomes. This is a cheat code for them to be able to own rental properties and multiple rental properties.
It's a great way to get into the investment property game. And I think there's a lot of people that don't look for this avenue because Flip This House and all of these things on TV are so popular. Let's just put money in my pocket. And you know what? Then I'll go spend it, on a fancy car or whatnot. This is a great conservative technique, to building wealth. For Scotty and I, it's being conservative and being in it long term. Conservative and long term. Conservative and long term. It will work. Good decisions. It's amazing what 10 years of good decisions will make, to your financial profile. This is an easy way to get into it. We're here talking to the masses, trying to bring financial literacy. We can do it together. Keep listening to the Homeboys. Till next time, happy investing. If you would like to be first in line to have the curtain pulled back and see the latest investment properties and projects that the Homeboys are investing in, please click the link below and sign up today.
When we invest in real estate, we always buy and build extra properties in order to have some for people just like you. So if you're interested in investing in the same great cash flowing rentals that we invest in, click the link below and sign up.
Every Monday, you'll get an email sneak peek into our operations, videos of our latest projects, and first pick at all available properties. The Homeboys built financial freedom from nothing, and so can you. The door is open. Sign up today.